So now I'm back in New York in '84, and I would go over there and pick up blow from time to time. But then the trip started becoming more. Like instead of going once a week, I would go 2 times a week. 3 times. I would pop in and go, I was in the neighborhood. I was at the library, And meanwhile, I was coked up, and she'd go, what do you need? And I go, give me an 8-ball to take back. They're going to give me cash. I'll buy my school books. I wasn't even going to fucking school. My whole relationship with this lady was based on a lie, And something happened one day, like in July or August that year, that I hit her up for an ounce. Like I was out of my fucking bird. And I go, I need an ounce of rock, these motherfuckers. And she goes, all right, come get it. Bring me back to the 1100 or whatever it was. Fuck you, I never brought it back. But that's what I thought of her, like I never brought the money back. Like that's how fucking piece of shit I was. Like it was $1,100. I could have sold 11 grams at $100 a piece, still snorted 17 grams. That's a lot of coke to snort by myself, and still had her money. But I decided I was going to beat her for $1,100. What a fucking lunatic I was. I had lost my job by that time at the bar. I had no work, and all I was doing was keeping this apartment and snorting coke. I had been suspended, and that's all I was doing, guys, was going to a bar, drinking all day, and snorting fucking coke, and I didn't know what the fuck. So I had no job, no nothing. A buddy of mine got me a job in the daytime, like a warehouse clerk. I got fired from there after 2 weeks. And then it was 5, when you lose somebody, a close member in your family or something, sometimes you mourn him right away, or that person. But for the most part, when you're young, like I was 16 when my mother died, I didn't mourn nobody. After a couple of years, I started realizing what had happened, and that pain really started entering my heart. So the addiction, and listen, in '84, nobody knew coke was addictive. People would say, you can snort what you want, it ain't addictive. Fuck, it's addictive. In '84, where nobody really knew that you lose your house and your wife and your car, nobody had really gotten stung yet, So nobody really fucking knew, but I was living it, and I didn't know it. I'm going to sit here and tell you I knew it. If I would have known, I would have done something about it. I didn't know shit. So it was weird. I was dating this girl, and we had broken up or something. I didn't really like the girl. She was just a part of my addiction. It was just the whole fucking deal. The addiction, the blow, her. It was all the same shit. We're still friends, by the way. She's on Facebook. We're still friends. And I liked her, but I didn't love her, and I would have ended up marrying her just to fucking warmth. We all make mistakes, and I would have done something stupid like that. But that year, by August of '84, I was halfway there, and I was starting to feel bad about the debt, and I thought I had this money coming to me. I had this will. There was no fucking will. I had nothing coming to me. I had dick. It was all my mind fuck, So I'm sitting eating Cuban food one day in this Cuban neighborhood, and this guy comes in, he goes, you Coco, Denora's son. I'm like, hey, there's people looking for you in Miami. Here's this number, call him. And there was this guy that was friends with my mother, and I call him up, and he goes, hey, where you been? I want to see you. And I go, where are you? He goes, in Miami, come on down. Go to the airport, I'll send you money. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to walk into a fucking coke ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, I needed help, but no, this is what was showing up in my life at this time. So I go to Miami, and I'm talking to him, and I'm telling him I need money and help. And he goes, start taking back these little fucking boxes. They were like, you ever get like a pendant from fucking one of those things? It was like a gold chain, but under it was like an ounce condensed in coke. And he says, just put them on your luggage. They'll think it's jewelry. So I started doing that shit. But in the meantime, one of those trips, I hooked up with fucking a distant cousin in Miami that we were tight as children, and then something happened, and we lost, the uncle went to jail or something, so we lost contact with them. And they're like, why don't you come live with us? And this is what I was, at this time, guys, I just needed a breather. I needed $1,500 to get my life situated, and I could move on and never be in Jersey and try to be a natural human being, like just a normal human being, like you motherfuckers here tonight. But no, I just wanted to get in trouble. So I asked this uncle, I go, yeah, I could stay with you guys. And sure enough, after like 4 days, they knew I was doing coke with my cousin. And I'm like 20, he's like 17. He was doing more coke than me at the fucking time. So they blamed it on me, and they're like, you gotta go. So I got pissed off. I'm like, you throwing me the fuck out when I need you the most? Fuck you motherfuckers. So I go, let me pack. And they're like, get the fuck out, blah, blah, blah. So on the way out, I'm going in his room, because I had my gel and all that shit in his room, my toothbrush. And as I'm walking out, I seen a gold watch. So I stole the fucking gold watch, because I didn't have money to get back home. I had the coke to get home, but I didn't have the money for the plane ticket that afternoon to get home. So I pawned the fucking gold watch in Miami. It gave me the money to get home. I couldn't believe I robbed my fucking uncle. And I went back to New York with the coke, sold it. And then my plan was to go back to Miami, unpawn the watch, and put it back in his house, sneak it back in. That was my cocaine plan. But like 2 days later, they called. They're like, we know you stole the watch. So I was fucked anyway. So I actually went and picked up the watch, but just brought it back to Jersey instead of dropping it off, because they already knew. And I felt terrible about it. Like this, especially this guy, his name was Rodolfo. I was always very tight with him, and he was very tight with my real dad growing up in Cuba. And he used to tell me stories about them growing up, and I loved them, but just the fact that he threw me out for snorting coke. They snorted fucking coke. And that's why I said to him, I go, Rodolfo, how long have you been snorting fucking coke? He's like, that doesn't matter. You can't do it in my house. He's like, my wife found out, so now you gotta go. So it really hurt me that this is my family. I needed these fucking people. But I didn't understand what I had done. So I went back to Miami, I picked up the fucking watch, and I'm wearing the watch now. I'm a big shot. It's like a Seiko with the diamonds around it and this gold band. It was like a fucking $10,000 watch.